What's up guys, Will here with Rennthusiast, my YouTube channel centering on air-cooled Porsche 911 ownership experience, and I would like to welcome you to a new test video series called What the Fuch. I realize that what the Fuch is a phrase that kind of has floated around out there. I've seen it in various spots, but I haven't found anybody officially using it. Hopefully nobody takes offense. First of all, I want to tell you guys that this new series will be in addition to my usual weekly Saturday morning publishing schedule, so I will continue to give you guys air-cooled Porsche 911 ownership experience videos, my own experience, the interviews I do with owners, the events, footage, and all that kind of good stuff. I will continue to do that, but I'm going to go do this, and here's why. Part of what I love the most about doing this work are the comments and the interaction that I've been able to have with a lot of you viewers. Oftentimes I'm bowled over just by the sheer number of comments, opinions, support, frankly sometimes criticism that I get from you guys. That's entertaining as well. So I got to thinking about, hey, how do I take that feedback, use that energy, and put it out there in a more public way? And so that's where I got the idea for this series. So let me talk to you a little bit about how What the Fuch is going to work. Every Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock, I'm going to drop a new What the Fuch video. And in that video, I'm going to share with you guys the answers that you give me in the comments to a question that I ask you. So let's imagine for a moment that I said in today's video, hey guys, do you consider air-cooled Porsche 911s to be reliable? I would ask you then to answer that question in the comments, and then in next week's What the Fuch video, I'm going to share with you some of the most entertaining or insightful or challenging answers to that question. I think it's going to be a good way for you guys to be able to be featured on the channel, and I think it's going to be a great way for us together to share your knowledge, your opinions, your thoughts, your experience with other viewers who may not know as much about these cars. So if you find this a little bit confusing, let's go ahead and I'm going to give you an example of how it's going to work, and then at the end of this video I'll ask you the question that I want you to answer for me for next week's What the Fuch video. So here's the deal. A little earlier last week, I asked in my community tab if people consider air-cooled Porsche 911s to be reliable, and I actually got a ton of answers. I have selected 5 of what I deem to be the best or the most insightful answers to that question that I'm going to share with you right now. Then once I get through this, I'm going to share with you a bonus comment. Really, it's almost like the week's most amazing comment that I got. It wasn't in response to the reliability question, but it was something else that somebody shared with me, which I thought was great. Then at the end of this video, I'm going to tee up the question I'd like you to answer for next week's What the Fuch video. Before I get into the comments, though, I'd like to share with you a couple of resources that I have come up with recently that have gotten a lot of traction, which I'm stoked about. It's number one, it's a Facebook group that I've created called Rennthusiast Air Cooled Porsche Fans. We've got a ton of engagement in there, already over 600 members. So if you're into that kind of a thing, if you're on Facebook and you just like to look at Porsche content only, which is what I do, go check that out, Rennthusiast Air Cooled Porsche Fans. And then I also started a buy-sell group for air-cooled Porsche parts and cars and want-to-buy ads and that kind of thing. It's called Rennthusiast Air Cooled Porsche Buy Sell. So you want to go check that out. I made that group in response to some requests from guys to list parts and cars and so forth for sale in my main group, so I created the buy sell group. So go check it out. If you're like me, then you're spending hours online looking around at the various areas where these things are for sale, and so hey, here's another one for you. Of course, too, please subscribe to this channel. I am always publishing content, as you can see, so if you're one of those guys out there that has air-cooled fever, join me. So let's get into the comments now. The first comment that I found the most entertaining to the question, do you consider air-cooled 911s to be reliable? A guy by the name of Ryan said, I did until I started watching your videos. I'll stick to my water-cooled 997.2. Mixed emotions. If you've been around this channel, you know that really I share my passion for air-cooled 911s. So on the one hand, I'm sorry that I'm chasing Ryan away from buying one of these cars, but on the more positive side, maybe that's one more car that might be available to me to buy later on. Next comment that I really enjoyed, dude named Alan J said, I have no experience with air-cooled cars, but I'd like to think of them as reliable and generally bulletproof with proper maintenance. Look how many of them are still on the road. Alan, I'd like to think of them as bulletproof too, and generally speaking, they're reliable, but they do have issues, as you've probably seen on my channel. Next guy that I picked, Cobra Carrera 21, guy says, I think they are. Just much harder finding shops capable of working on old school air-cooled. Thankfully, only routine maintenance for mine so far in the last 21 years of ownership. You're one lucky dude. Maybe you haven't tried to mod the car as much as I have. I don't know. But the reason that I selected this comment is just because it struck a chord with me around finding good, solid air-cooled shops. I'm gonna explore that more on my channel. I've had a ton of guys asking me questions about that very topic. It's a tough one because a lot of people that are very proficient at working on these cars are starting to retire out of the workforce. And so it is a challenge of ownership that's really unfortunate, which is finding good, solid air-cooled shops. So different topic for a different day. Guy named Franz Huber, I don't know if that's how you say it. This guy's been around for a while. Thank you for your support. But he told me this in this comment. One Porsche workshop told me if all 911 were 993, then they could close their business because they're damn reliable. I would say this 993 sitting behind me has been pretty bulletproof. The money that I had to spend on the car has been, it was initially deferred maintenance issues that I had to take care of after I picked it up. And then a lot of the money I poured into the 993 has been, elective mods and stuff. So the fifth comment that I really, frankly liked the most, only because I have a personal tie to the person who left it, as well as his comment. A guy by the name of Chad. Chad is actually the previous owner of my 86 911. So he and I have remained friends, and I guess, he sticks around the channel enough to comment from time to time. He said, I've had about a dozen air-cooled 911s, never been stranded by any, so for me at least, very reliable with proper maintenance. Of course, one bad starter, but pushed. Thanks, Will and Targa Carolina team were jump-started for a weekend. So there's a little footage I got of that incident where Chad's car wouldn't start. A bunch of guys got together and pushed the car to start it pretty much all weekend long. There you go, 5 answers from viewers about whether or not these cars are reliable or not. Finally, I told you I would give you kind of a bonus comment before I give you the question I'd like you to answer for next week's What the Fuch video. A guy by the name of Jeffrey B. This was under another video, but I thought it was so good that I wanted to share it with you. I'm going to take you to the end of the comment. Basically, he said he sold his 993. He doesn't miss a lot of the things about it except for the smell. So he said, great cars, worth having one if you can own more than one car. Wish someone sold the smell in a spray bottle. That's brilliant. I'm calling the season that we're in the season of air-cooled fever, and I feel like guys are there's such a feeding frenzy around air-cooled 911s that you can pretty much label anything air-cooled and guys are going to buy it. So if any of you out there know how to, like Clark Griswold style, create something in a bottle that would smell like air-cooled, I think you could make $1 million. So anyway, good comment, Jeffrey. Good sentiment. I had never thought of that. Pretty awesome. Okay, so here we are. This is the question I want you to answer for me in the comments below this video. I'm going to hand select some of them, and you might be featured in next week's What the Fuch video. I want to know, why are air-cooled Porsche prices so out of control? And of course, you can talk to me about the economic end of things. You can say that I'm an idiot. Or you can tell me it's because the cars are so good, or maybe you tell me it's the biggest sham of all time. I don't know. So anyway, let's hope this video series catches some traction. I'm going to give it a shot over the next 2 months. So I'll do 8 installments of these, and then I will revisit. So if you're still with me, please answer the question, why are air-cooled Porsche prices so high, below this video? And I hope that you've gotten something out of this video, and I hope to see you next time. I'm out of here.